The Coyote Twin, Vermilion's downtown theater. Providing entertainment Thursdays through Sundays.
Music makes the world go round.
Tonight, what the National Music Museum does to put on a show. Coyote News starts right now.
Live from the Al Newharth Media Center, this is Coyote News.
Good evening and welcome to Coyote News. I'm Sydney Colin.
And I'm Marissa Brunkhorst. Tomorrow is February 29th, a day that happens every 4 years.
Coyote News' Quinn Masick talked with students born on Leap Day to learn what it means to them.
Roughly 5 million people around the world have their birthday on leap year. Sophomore Sam Van Gerpen and freshman Patrick Wadley are just two of them.
A lot of people might think like being born in a leap year is like, oh, you don't really get a birthday every year, which just isn't true. You're going to age each year. It's kind of a luxury almost because it just makes that fourth year kind of special.
Not having a birthday for 4 years is kind of weird. I'm excited to turn 5. I'm actually more excited for 5 than 21 next year.
The Earth takes roughly 365 days and 6 hours to rotate around the sun. This means every 4 years, there's an extra 24 hours. This is Leap Day. But why in February? History.com indicates February originally had 30 days, and August had 29. But when Augustus Caesar became the Roman emperor, he took 2 days from February and added them to the month of August, the month that closely resembles his name. Because the other months have 29 days, it was easier to add an extra day to February. And that's why tomorrow, Van Gerpen and Wadley are turning 5.
When I was younger, we'd invite everyone that I could. And now we just make sure we celebrate, especially on leap years.
For Coyote News, I'm Quinn Masick.
Van Gerpen and Wadley both say they're excited to celebrate their birthdays with friends and family. South Dakota might be one of the states to get public rail transportation. The Federal Railroad Administration is adding more routes to the long-distance Amtrak network. The proposed grid features a track from Minneapolis to San Antonio, with the train plans to travel through Sioux Falls.
A new tire shop is rolling into Vermilion. The Les Schwab's Tires will be on Princeton Street. Construction's underway on the building and will be located between O'Reilly's Auto Parts and Casey's. Les Schwab offers new tires, rotations, and other services. An exact opening date hasn't been set. We'll bring you that information later. The anthropology and sociology departments are researching what's known as the tattoo flu. Coyote News' Jodianne Tyson is live in the Al Newharth Media Center concourse to hear about the study. Jodianne.
Thanks, Sydney. I'm here with Dr. Sage Kelmelis from the Anthropology and Sociology Department. Dr. Kelmelis, what exactly is the tattoo flu?
That's a great question, and to preface, it's not a real clinical term. It's something that I first heard about when I was getting tattooed. So I am a tattoo collector in addition to being a social scientist, and I work with tattoo artists in the Sioux Falls area at the Red Arbor Tattoo shop, and I was getting tattooed. I had an 8-hour appointment, so I sat for 8 hours under the needle. And I came home, and about 45 minutes later, I felt like I had flu-like symptoms. So I felt very tired, I had aches and pains, the chills, and I was really like, oh no, am I sick with something? It was gone very quickly, and I did a little bit of research on it, and unfortunately, there's no real clinical term for it, but when I talked to my tattoo artist colleagues, they said, oh, well, that's something that people call tattoo flu. It's not a real thing, but we've heard about it, but we don't really know what causes it. And so with them and with other colleagues that I have at the University of Alabama, so specifically Dr. Chris Lynn, who studies traditional tattooing and immunology, and a couple of other colleagues that I have in Florida and in Texas, we're working together with our students to figure out what exactly is this. So in other words, is this potentially a short-term acute immune response to getting tattooed, which, by the way, is not because you're infected or anything. It's just because being tattooed is a form of trauma. So I'm a tattooed person, and because your skin is the largest organ in your immune system, it also is the one that combats a lot of the initial signs of problems. So getting tattooed is a kind of trauma. And so it makes sense that people have a little bit of a, oh, I feel tired today kind of response. So, but what we're interested in understanding are some people more likely to have it versus say others, and are you more immune to it after you get tattooed? Because studies show, and this is work that's done by my colleague Dr. Chris Lynn, that people who have more tattoos, get this, have a stronger immune response. In other words, it might be good for you. So that's basically what we're really interested in understanding with tattoo flu.
Okay, very interesting. And I understand that you're also doing a study on ancient Maya and a teeth study related to that. Now, while doing your research on that, like, have you had like that aha moment, like you found an interesting fact and you're like, wow, can you share that with us?
I can a little bit actually. So the tattoo thing is a very different project that I do. It's not typical to my normal repertoire. So I'm a bioarchaeologist, meaning that I study people from archaeological contexts in the past to understand what their lives would have been like. And I'm involved in a large study where we're trying to figure out what happened to the ancient Maya at the late terminal classic period. In other words, there was this big demographic event where there was this very big society, but it seems that there were some major changes. They didn't disappear, they didn't die out, but they may have depopulated the region, and we want to know why. So some people suggest that it may be because they just migrated, some people suggest that there were severe drought periods, and so that's our big question. Were there famines and epidemics? In my work with that, part of what I'm doing is studying their teeth. So your teeth are made up of all kinds of tissues, one of them being something called cementum. Cementum is a type of tissue that forms around the root of your tooth every year of your life. So think about it kind of like tree rings. But what's cool about it is that it can tell you how old somebody is, but also potentially tell you what they were going through in their lives. So were they pregnant, were they sick, things like that. And so in my work so far, looking at teeth from the ancient Maya, what we're finding is that we can tell how old they were, but we also might be able to see if they were enduring big stress events. So things like famine. So this would support our hypothesis.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Kelmelis. There you have it. Research is a great way to learn more about the world. For Coyote News, I'm Jodianne Tyson.
Thanks, Jodianne. Those interested in getting a tattoo locally should check out either Iktomi Ink Tattoo Experience or Illuminated Dolly and Grouchy Hyena Studio.
Musicians from around the country can be heard here in Vermilion. While the National Music Museum has had many changes over its 50-plus year history, one thing that's been consistent is the Friday afternoon concerts. Deputy Director of Collections Michael Sewing schedules the performances. He says while artists typically travel from coast to coast, some are closer than you might think.
So it's a really fun mix of local favorites, people that our communities, college and Vermilion community want to see, but then also groups from farther afield.
Sewing says the museum strives to engage with people in the community and on campus, including reaching out to local jazz bands. Dr. Sonia Kraus will be holding a faculty recital next Wednesday. The museum is free for students. General admission is $10. Unite for USD is starting off strong. A look at the event after the break. You're watching Coyote News.
This is Coyote News.
A 24-hour fundraising event started earlier today and has already had a huge turnout. Hosted by the USD Foundation, Unite for USD features plenty of events for students to participate in. Membership Coordinator Michaela Moore says there are over 50 organizations to donate to, with 13 of them being athletics.
This gives our donors the opportunity to channel their contributions towards specific sports. It also gives our programs the flexibility and freedom to fundraise for specific things that they need to enhance their program.
While the Hot Wings Challenge is wrapping up, Carrie's Bar is hosting Howler Hour, and an appreciation celebration ends the event tomorrow morning.
While we aren't in Vegas, CAB is bringing the casino to USD. Students are invited to play games for prizes and listen to a live DJ. Casino night takes place tomorrow at 6 in the Muck Ballroom. An event created in the United Kingdom has made its way to Vermilion. Death Cafe explores the relationship humans have with death and normalizes important conversations about the sensitive topic while enjoying a cup of coffee. The Vermilion Public Library encourages everyone to join them tomorrow night at 6.
A campus fraternity is hosting an exercise event in honor of a member who passed away from leukemia. Coyote News' Jodianne Tyson is back in the Al Newharth Media Center to learn more about Cycle for Life. Jodianne.
Thanks, Sydney. I'm here with Troy Durst, an external vice president for Pi Kappa Alpha. Troy, what is Cycle for Life and why is it held annually?
So Cycle for Life is an event that we have who honors a past Pike brother named Taylor Trudeau. He died of leukemia back in 2008. So this is an event we held every year. This is our 14th annual year, and it helps to raise money for, this year we're doing Cure Kids Cancer, and all the money going to today's event will go towards the Sanford Children's Hospital in Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Okay. And who can support this event?
So anybody can support it. It's currently going on until 9 p.m. at the Wellness Center here on campus. All it costs is $5. It's a stationary cycling event, so classes go for about half an hour. Anyone can come down and do this. It's a great opportunity to raise money for a good cause.
And for those persons who they're unable to come today, like how can they contribute or help?
So they can contribute by, we have an Instagram and Twitter page, so they can go in there. They can find different ways to support. We have many different links and resources where you can help support, whether it be monetary or even just by sharing the post and getting the word out.
Okay. Thanks so much, Troy. Now, Cycle for Life is going on until 9 p.m. today in the Wellness Center. For Coyote News, I'm Jodianne Tyson.
Thanks, Jodianne. Again, Cycle for Life ends tonight at 9. 30-minute cycling sessions are $5 per person. 3 sets of candidates are facing off in this semester's SGA elections.
To find out what issues matter most to the candidates, the Cross Media Council is hosting a live SGA debate. The running teams include Griffin Peterson and Maddie Fleckenstein, Ethan Gladue and Jillian Schulte, and Libby Brust and Waverly Patterson.
The debate takes place before a live audience tomorrow night at 7 in the Al Newharth Media Center. It's also airing here on KYOT TV, Midco Channel 21, and streaming on YouTube. If you have a question for the candidates, send it to the KYOT News email address or to their Instagram. Next on Coyote Sports, Boston Holt secures the win against Oral Roberts.
And Kendall Holmes knocks down 5 threes.
This is Coyote News.
It's back-to-back Summit League titles for the Coyote men. This is Coyote Sports. I'm Spencer Bewley.
And I'm Myra Ingram. The men's track and field team beat North Dakota State by just 1.5 points at the Summit League Championships. Marshall Farrow won first in the pole vault with 5.52 meters. Bennett Schweed finished first in the men's long jump with 7.59 meters. Aaron Kinney won the 60 meters with a time of 7.31 seconds. Kinney, along with Avery Schmeichel, Saren Reifenroth, and J.C. Pulse, won the women's 4x400 meter. They set a new Summit League Championship standard with a time of 3 minutes, 41.71 seconds. Jen Harada won the pole vault with the height of 4.24 meters. The women's team finished runner-up to North Dakota State. They compete at the NCAA Championships next weekend.
The swim and dive teams also competed at the Summit League Championships this past weekend. Emily Kahn finished first in the women's 50-yard freestyle with a time of 22.64 seconds. She also won the 100-yard freestyle with a time of 49.58 seconds. Adam Fisher finished first in the men's 100-yard backstroke with a time of 47.58 seconds. Overall, the men finished third and the women finished runner-up to Denver.
Katie Nicola from the women's golf team set a school record over the weekend. She had a score of 5 under par 67 in the third and final round of the Rio Verde Invitational. Her score tied USD's record for a low single round score by a women's golfer. Nicola individually tied for 12th place overall with a total score of 1 over par 217. As a team, the Coyotes finished tied for 11th place. The women compete next at the Puerto Rico Classic. The men's golf team competed at the La Jolla Intercollegiate. Leading for the Coyotes was Nick Lamotte. He finished tied for 51st place overall with a 3-round score of 1 over par. South Dakota finished the tournament in 20th place with a team score of 17 over par. The men will compete next Friday at the Jackrabbit Invitational.
The men's basketball team has just 2 games left until the Summit League Championships. They last competed against Oral Roberts. Boston Holt led the Coyotes in scoring with 25 points. He shot 55% from the field. He also made 2 of his 3 three-point attempts and went 3 of 3 at the free throw line. Behind him was Lahat Chun with 19 points. He was just 1 rebound shy of his 12th double-double. In the first half, South Dakota trailed by 6 points. They came back in the second by scoring 8 straight to tie the game. In the final seconds, Boston Holt made the game-winning layup. South Dakota wins this one 77-76. The men will play against NDSU tomorrow night at home. The women's basketball team also faced Oral Roberts, but on their home court. Kendall Holmes led South Dakota with 17 points, including 5 three-pointers. She also had 5 rebounds and 3 assists. Following Holmes was Grace Larkins. She put down 9 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists. The Coyotes were down 17 points into the second half and couldn't come back. South Dakota drops this one 63-77. The women's last home game will be against North Dakota on Saturday afternoon at 2.
On to high school sports. Vermilion High School's girls basketball is heading to the SODAC 16. Last week, they faced Lennox in the Region 4A tournament, defeating them 47-42. The team's 18-4 on the season and faces winner tomorrow night. If Vermilion wins, they qualify for state.
Softball will compete at the Paladine Classic in South Carolina on Friday. At the Lion Invitational last weekend, USD beat Tarleton State 5-3. Texas A&M Commerce then beat the Coyotes 2-3. USD came back in Game 3 against Abilene Christian 3-0. The Coyotes won Games 4 and 5, beating Texas A&M Commerce 4-1 and Tarleton State 7-3. The team sits at 8-7 overall on the season.
The state wrestling championships took place in Sioux Falls last weekend. Vermilion High Schooler Michael Robe won 4th in the 157 weight class. Also from Vermilion, Raleigh French placed 4th, but in the 215 weight class. Robe's score sits at 42-9, and French's score sits at 42-7 on the season. That's it for Coyote Sports.
When we come back, we ask students about the riskiest thing they've ever done. Stay with us.
What does the group think? We think a strength is their brand recognition.
This is Zoe, and you're listening to Afternoon Rap on KAOR 91.1 FM. This is my next selection. Hey Sally, come check this out.
I like it. What if you try this?
We're out.
What did you think of your performance today?
I believe I did well. I achieved what I needed to do for the team. The team actually functioned the way we needed to. We did our 111th and we were able to make plays.
The Charcoal Sports Show, the hottest names and the hottest takes.
Tune in every Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. where Charlie Preen and Cole Larsch highlight prep sports, college sports, Coyote athletics, and professional sports. We would love to hear your questions for us too. The phone lines are always open.
Tune in to the Charcoal Sports Show each Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. to hear the hottest takes on KAOR Vermilion.
This is Coyote News.
Swimming through cold water might not be for everyone. Here locally, the Vermilion Polar Plunge raised over $20,000 for Special Olympics just over a week ago. Across the country in Vermont, they did more than just plunge. 180 people showed up for the 10th annual Winter Swimming Festival. The event featured a 200-meter freestyle race in a pool cut from ice. One Virginia participant says this is the highlight of her year. For some, it's skipping class. For others, it's going to a party without telling anyone.
We are, of course, talking about risks. In this week's Out and About, we asked students what the riskiest thing they've ever done is.
Here's what they had to say.
Skipping class for like a week straight.
Live in Baltimore.
Go downtown underage.
Going a little over 105 and a 35.
Swim with the sharks in Hawaii.
I rode a train during the train riots in France.
Probably eating at Qdoba.
I stole a candy bar when I was little.
Probably not study for my math test before the final. Took a nap before practice.
Not setting an alarm for a 9 a.m. class.
Took a nap before practice and I didn't set an alarm.
Driving the wrong way down a one-way street.
Drive a car with a broken foot.
Eating fried shrimp at the mud. I'd say coming to South Dakota in general. Hitting the transfer portal after my sophomore year because I didn't have that much film.
Getting in an argument with a teacher. That was fun.
Probably come to America because I'm from Sweden, so I'm not from here, so new country.
I hit 100 miles an hour on a back road right outside of town and blew up a pheasant.
Skip class.
Accidentally skiing down a double black diamond with moguls.
Slept through my alarm and almost missed practice.
I ran from the cops in my car.
I believe anything that Mike say.
I don't know, guys. What do you guys got?
I've swum with manta rays before, so
That's pretty risky.
But not too risky.
I guess I've fed a dolphin as I was wade fishing, in knee-deep water. The dolphins are so smart; they'll come up to you when they know you're trout fishing, and you just release the trout. But I guess if the dolphin wanted to, it probably could eaten me. I guess, but it didn't. It just wanted the trout because I don't know. They're geniuses, but.
I don't live life on the edge, so I don't have one.
That's okay. That's okay.
Seeing Coyote on campus is pretty risky. I did that once. That was pretty terrible.
Oh.
That's all for Coyote News.
Check out the Valance social media post for coverage of USD swim and dive team at the Summit League Championships.
Listen to 91.1 for news updates throughout the week and for coverage of your USD sports.
Don't forget to follow our social media pages for daily updates and the weekly poll. Have a great night.